The less stuff I owned, the more money I had. The less I worked, the more I earned. Sounds completely backwards. That's because everything you've been taught about money is a lie designed to keep you broke. The average American owns 300,000 items, works 60-hour weeks, and has less than $3,000 saved. Meanwhile, minimalists with 100 items have 50,000 in the bank and work 35 hours a week. Same economy, completely different results. Warren Buffett, worth over $100 billion, lives in the same house he bought in 1958, drives a modest car, and eats McDonald's breakfast. The wealthiest people don't accumulate stuff. They eliminate it. I'm about to give you 15 counterintuitive rules that reduce your possessions, reduce your stress, and multiply your money. Rule 15 is the one that separates people who stay broke from people who build real wealth, and it's the opposite of what you'd expect. If you're ready to stop buying stuff and start building wealth, hit subscribe and comment, less is more. Let's start with the rule that changes everything. Rule 1. One in, one out. The zero-sum possessions rule. Let me tell you what's actually happening in your house right now. You're accumulating endlessly. You buy new stuff but never get rid of old stuff. Your closet is full of clothes you don't wear. Your garage is full of tools you don't use. Your drawers are full of random junk you forgot existed. The average American household has 300,000 items. 300,000. And somehow, you still can't find your keys. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every item you own costs you money, space, time, and mental energy. It's not just sitting there innocently, it's draining you. You have to clean it, organize it, store it, move it, and think about it. Possessions aren't assets, they're responsibilities disguised as stuff. There's a story in the Bible about a rich guy who kept building bigger barns to store all his stuff. God called him a fool. That night, he died, and all his stuff meant nothing. The lesson? Accumulation isn't wealth, it's imprisonment. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire but lived simply. He said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life." He understood that possessions don't add to life, they subtract from it. Here's your new rule. One in, one out. Buy something new, get rid of something old. New shirt, donate an old one. New book, give away one you finished. New gadget, sell the old one. This isn't deprivation, it's equilibrium. You're not growing your pile of stuff, you're curating it. Start today. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, what will I get rid of to make room for this? If you can't answer, you don't actually need it. There's a couple who moved to a smaller house and had to purge half their belongings. They panicked at first. A year later, they said, "We forgot we even owned that stuff. We're not missing anything except the stress of maintaining it all." They're saving $800 a month and have zero regret. Every item you own is a responsibility. The wealthy don't accumulate, they curate. Less isn't a sacrifice, it's a strategy. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people. Rule 2. The 30-day rule. Because here's what's behind the accumulation problem. Impulse. You see it, you want it, you buy it. Amazon one-click is financial suicide on repeat. And 60% of what you buy on impulse, you either never use or completely forget about within a month. Let me guess, you've got stuff in your house right now, still in the box that you bought 3 months ago and haven't opened. Yeah, I see you. Proverbs nails this. The plans of the diligent lead to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty. Speed in purchasing equals guaranteed poverty, every single time. Here's what research shows. 47% of impulse purchases are regretted within 24 hours. But if you wait 30 days, 90% of those must-haves become, "Why did I even want that?" So here's the rule that will save you thousands. The 30-day rule. Want something? Write it down with today's date. Wait 30 days. After 30 days, if you still want it, budget for it and buy it. Most of the time, you'll look at the list and think, "What was I thinking? I don't even care about that anymore." Start a 30-day want list in your phone. Every non-essential purchase goes on the list. Review it monthly. Watch 90% of your impulses evaporate. The money you save? That's automatic wealth building without any extra effort. I know a guy who wanted a $2,000 camera. Absolutely convinced he needed it. Put it on his 30-day list. Week 3, his interest started fading. Day 30, he realized his phone camera was perfectly fine and the impulse was just gone. He invested that $2,000 instead. 18 months later, it's worth $3,200. The camera would be collecting dust in a closet. He told me that camera would be worthless to me now. My investment account is actually working for me. The 30-day rule didn't stop me from buying, it stopped me from wasting. Impulse is the enemy of wealth. Time is the filter that separates real needs from fake wants. Use it. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything. Rule 3. Quality over quantity, always. Because here's what you're losing by chasing impulse deals. Money. Lots of it. Just hidden in a way you don't see. Americans own 5 times more clothes than people did in the 1950s. 5 times. And yet somehow you're standing in front of a full closet saying, I have nothing to wear. That's not a clothing problem. That's a quality problem. Fast fashion has trained you to buy cheap garbage that falls apart in 6 months and then buy more cheap garbage to replace it. You think you're saving money. You're not. You're just funding a replacement cycle that never ends. There's this concept called the boots theory. A rich man buys $200 boots that last 10 years. That's $20 a year. A poor man can only afford $40 boots that last 1 year, so he buys 10 pairs over 10 years, spending $400 total. He paid double for a worse quality because he couldn't afford quality up front. Being cheap is expensive. The Japanese have this philosophy, ichigo ichie. Buy as if you'll only buy this item once in your entire life. That mindset forces you to think quality. Will this last a decade? Will I still love this in 5 years? Here's your new standard. Own fewer things, but the highest quality you can afford. 5 great shirts beat 20 garbage shirts. 2 quality pairs of shoes beat 10 falling apart pairs. 1 amazing coat beats 5 mediocre jackets. And the cost per wear? Pennies over the years. Right now, audit your wardrobe. What haven't you worn in 6 months? Donate it. When you replace something, ask, will I wear this 100 times? If the answer is no, walk away. There's a woman who bought a $300 leather jacket. Seemed expensive. Over 8 years, she wore it 200 plus times. It's still perfect. Cost per wear? $1.50. Her friend bought 5 cheap jackets at $60 each over the same period, 300 total. All of them fell apart and got donated. Same money spent. One got a timeless piece. The other got garbage. Minimalism isn't about cheap. It's about fewer, better, longer. Quality is frugality disguised as luxury, and it's the only way to actually save money long term. You think you've understood everything? There's a detail that few people notice, but it's extremely important. Rule 4. Automate savings before you see income. Because here's the detail everyone misses. You can buy quality, avoid impulse, and minimize possessions, but if you're not actually saving money, you're just broke with less stuff. Let me guess your saving strategy. I'll save whatever's left at the end of the month. And how's that working? Oh right, there's never anything left. Because spending expands to fill whatever income is available. It's called Parkinson's Law, and it's destroying your financial future. I'll save what's left is the financial equivalent of, I'll start my diet on Monday. It's a lie you tell yourself to feel better about not doing the thing you know you should do. There's ancient wisdom from Babylon. Pay yourself first. A part of all you earn is yours to keep, not what's left after everyone else gets paid. You take your cut first, before rent, before bills, before anything. That's non-negotiable. Modern research proves it. People who automate savings save 10 times more than people who manually save. 10 times. Because automation removes willpower from the equation. You're not deciding whether to save, it just happens. Here's what you do today. Set up an automatic transfer. The second your paycheck hits, 20% goes straight to savings. You never see it, you never touch it, you adapt to living on the remaining 80%. And you know what? You'll be fine. Humans are ridiculously adaptable when we have to be. Start with 10% if 20 feels scary. Then increase by 1% every 3 months. In 2 years, you'll be saving 18% effortlessly, and you won't even notice the difference. There are 2 coworkers with same salary. One manually saves when I can, which means never. After a year, saved $0. The other automated 15%. After a year, saved $7,500 without thinking about it once. Same income. One has a financial cushion, the other is one emergency away from debt. Automation removes decision fatigue. What's automatic becomes invisible. What's invisible becomes effortless. Stop relying on willpower and start relying on systems. But that's just the obvious part. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference. Rule 5. Kill subscriptions ruthlessly, because here's what makes the difference between saving money and watching it disappear. Subscriptions. They're vampires. Silent, invisible, draining your account while you sleep. The average American has 12 subscriptions costing $273 a month. That's $3,276 a year. And here's the kicker. You probably forgot about half of them. It's only $10 a month. Yeah, and so are the other 11 services you signed up for. $10 times 12 subscriptions equals $120 a month. 12 times 12 months equals $1,440 a year. That's not only $10. That's a vacation you can't afford because you're funding 7 streaming services you don't watch. Studies show that 42% of subscribers forgot about at least one subscription they're still paying for. Companies design subscriptions to be forgotten. That's the business model. Sign you up, make it annoying to cancel, hope you forget, profit from your inattention. Here's your assignment right now. Pull up your bank statement. Circle every recurring charge, every single one. Netflix, Spotify, gym you haven't been to since February. That app you tried once, the subscription box you got excited about for 2 months. Cancel anything you haven't actively used in the past 30 days. Not might use someday, actually used. Be ruthless. You can always resubscribe if you actually miss it. Spoiler, you won't. Most people save $100 to $300 a month doing this. That's $1,200 to $3,600 a year, recovered from subscriptions they forgot existed. There's a guy who audited his subscriptions and found 9 he'd completely forgotten about. $187 a month. He canceled 7, kept the 2 he actually used. A year later, he'd saved $2,244, which he used for a vacation his family still talks about. He told me, I was paying to forget about services I didn't want. Companies were profiting from my laziness. Now I only pay for what I actually value. Subscriptions are designed to be invisible. Make them visible. Then make most of them disappear. Wait, the most important part is in the following story. Rule 6. No storage units ever. Because here's the important part that connects all of this. If you've minimized, stopped impulse buying, killed subscriptions, but you're still renting a storage unit, you've completely missed the point. 10% of Americans rent storage units. The average cost is $100 to $200 a month. That's $1,200 to $2,400 a year. Let that sink in. You're paying $1,200 to $2,400 annually to store stuff you don't use, don't need, and probably forgot you even own. Studies show that 65% of storage unit renters haven't opened their units in 6 months. They're literally paying to forget about junk. Do the math. $150 a month times 5 years equals $9,000. To store what? $2,000 worth of stuff you don't want? That's not storage. That's financial insanity with a padlock. Here's the rule. If it doesn't fit in your home, you don't need it. A storage unit is an admission that you own too much. It's you paying a monthly fee to avoid making a decision about whether you actually value something. If you have a storage unit right now, here's your assignment. Empty it this quarter. Sell anything valuable. Donate the rest. Take the proceeds plus your monthly savings and invest them. Never rent storage again. Ever. There's a family that paid $175 a month for storage for 7 years. That's $14,700. $14,000. When they finally emptied it, 90% was junk they'd forgotten about. They donated almost everything. They started investing that $175 a month instead. Now they have over $18,000 in investments. They told me, we paid $14,700 to store nothing. We could have had $32,000 in investments if we'd done this from the start. That storage unit was the most expensive mistake we never even thought about. Storage units are scams you pay for willingly. If you haven't needed something in 6 months, you don't need it. Period. Sell it, donate it, trash it, but stop paying to avoid dealing with it. Do you see anything unusual? The answer is right here. Rule 7, zero-based budget monthly. Because here's the unusual answer to why you're always broke. It's not that you don't make enough money. It's that your money doesn't have a job, so it just leaves. Like a teenager with no supervision, gone before you even realize it. Most people have no idea where their money goes. I make decent money, but I'm always broke. Yeah, because you're not telling your money what to do. Money without a plan is like water without a container. It just spreads everywhere and disappears. Dave Ramsey figured this out decades ago with zero-based budgeting. Simple concept. Income minus expenses minus savings equals zero. Every dollar gets assigned a job before the month starts. Rent, assigned. Groceries, assigned. Fun money, assigned. If a dollar doesn't have a job, it goes to savings. Studies show people who budget save 3 times more than people who don't. 3 times, same income, different outcomes. Why? Because budgeting forces awareness, and awareness kills waste. Here's what you do. At the beginning of every month, before you spend a single dollar, assign every dollar a job. Use an app like YNAB or EveryDollar, or just use a spreadsheet. Doesn't matter. What matters is that you're intentional instead of reactive. Track for 30 days. You'll be shocked. I spent how much on fast food? Yeah, $600, without even noticing. There's a couple who never budgeted, always stressed about money, always fighting about spending. They finally sat down and did their first zero-based budget. Found $600 a month leaking into miscellaneous, which is code for we have no idea where this went. They redirected it to savings. A year later, $7,200 were recovered from the void. They told me, we thought we didn't make enough money. Turns out we made plenty. We just weren't telling it where to go, so it went everywhere and nowhere. Money without a plan disappears. Money with a mission multiplies. Budgeting isn't restriction. It's permission to spend guilt-free, because everything's accounted for and intentional. And it's in the next section that many people make mistakes without even knowing it. Rule 8, capsule wardrobe. Because here's where people make the mistake. They budget, minimize possessions, kill subscriptions, but their closet is still packed with 150 items they never wear, and every morning they stand there thinking, I have nothing to wear. That's not a clothing problem. That's decision fatigue disguised as fashion. Studies show people wear 20% of their wardrobe 80% of the time. You've got a closet full of stuff, but you rotate between the same 10 outfits. Why? Because most of what you own either doesn't fit, doesn't match, or you just don't like it anymore, but feel guilty getting rid of it. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Not because he was weird, because he had more important decisions to make. Obama said the same thing. I don't want to make decisions about what I'm wearing. I have too many other decisions to make. They understood that every decision you make drains mental energy. Why waste it on clothes? Enter the capsule wardrobe. 33 items per season, including shoes. Everything is quality. Everything matches everything else. Everything you actually like wearing. No more standing in front of a packed closet feeling overwhelmed. No more impulse buying clothes because I have nothing to wear. Here's your challenge. Next season, try the 33-item challenge. Choose neutral colors, quality basics, and versatile pieces. Sell or donate everything else. Use the money to upgrade a few key items to quality versions. There's a woman who has over 200 clothing items and feels stressed every morning picking an outfit. She switched to a 33-item capsule. Now she gets dressed in 2 minutes, feels confident every day, and saves $2,000 a year by not buying random clothes she doesn't need. She told me, "I thought more options meant more freedom. Turns out fewer options is freedom. Freedom from decision paralysis, from buyer's remorse, from closet chaos. I don't have less, I have exactly enough, which somehow feels like abundance." More choices create stress, not freedom. Minimalists don't have less style, they have curated style that actually works. All of the above will be meaningless if you miss the last detail. Rule 9. Digital minimalism. Because here's the last detail most people miss. You've minimized your physical stuff, but your digital life is a hoarder's nightmare, and it's costing you way more money than you realize. Let me guess. You upgrade your phone every year even though the old one works perfectly. You've got 40 apps you never use. You pay for 3 streaming services but only watch 1. You buy digital courses you never finish. You subscribe to newsletters you never read. Your digital life is just as cluttered as your physical life used to be. It's just invisible, so you pretend it doesn't count. But it does. Every app with in-app purchases is a trap. Every free game that costs $3 here and $5 there adds up to hundreds annually. Every phone upgrade is $800 to $1,200 you didn't need to spend. Americans upgrade phones every 18 months on average. Why? Because marketing convinced you last year's phone is outdated. It's not. It works fine. You just got bored and wanted something shiny. Here's the rule. Keep your phone until it literally stops working. 3 to 4 years minimum. Same with laptops, tablets, and gadgets. Tech doesn't expire, your patience does. If it works, you don't need a new one. Also, digital detox your digital subscriptions. All those apps, streaming services, and cloud storage plans you forgot about. Cancel them. Go through your phone right now. Delete every app you haven't opened in 30 days. You'll be shocked by how much mental clutter that removes. There's a guy who was upgrading his phone annually, $1,200 a year. He finally kept one for 4 years. Saved $4,800 over those 4 years. Invested it. Now it's worth over $6,000. He told me I thought I needed the latest phone. Turns out I just needed to stop falling for marketing. My 4-year-old phone does everything the new one does. I just saved thousands by being okay with good enough. Digital minimalism isn't about being a Luddite. It's about not letting tech companies convince you that last year's perfectly good device is suddenly trash. Keep what works. Invest the difference. This brings us to something critical. Most people get completely backwards. Rule 10. Single focus income strategy. Because here's what people get backwards. They think more income streams equals more money. So they scatter their energy across 5 side hustles, make almost nothing from any of them, burn out, and wonder why they're still broke. Americans are obsessed with multiple streams of income. Sounds smart, right? Diversification? Except you're not diversifying. You're diluting. You're spreading yourself so thin that nothing gets the focus it needs to actually succeed. You've got a full-time job, a dropshipping store that makes $50 a month, a YouTube channel with 30 subscribers, a freelance gig you do occasionally, and an MLM you're trying out. None of them is working because none of them is getting your full attention. Here's the truth. One thing done extremely well beats 10 things done mediocrely. Every single time. Warren Buffett built his entire fortune on focused investing. He doesn't dabble in 50 industries. He goes deep on a few he understands completely. Steve Jobs didn't make 100 products. He made a few insanely great ones. The minimalist approach to income. Pick one primary income source. Your job, your business, your skill, whatever it is, make it excellent. Optimize it, master it, become the best at it. Get paid more for doing it better than anyone else. Then, if you want a side income, pick one that complements your primary source. Not 5. 1. Give it real attention. Build it properly. Let it grow. There's a guy who had 6 side hustles going at once. Made maybe $200 a month total from all of them combined while working 70 hours a week. Exhausted, frustrated, broke, He killed 5 of them, focused entirely on one, freelance writing, put all his energy there. Within a year, that one stream was making him $4,000 a month, more than all 6 combined ever made. He said, "I thought more hustle meant more money, but I was doing everything badly instead of one thing well. The moment I focused, everything changed. Stop spreading yourself thin. Go deep, not wide. Master one thing, earn serious money from it. Then, maybe consider a second stream, but only after the first is thriving." Do you see the pattern emerging across all these rules? The answer is right here. Rule 11, sell what you don't use. Because here's the pattern across all these rules. You've been treating your unused stuff like it has no value. Sitting in your garage, your closet, your attic, collecting dust, taking up space, doing nothing. But that stuff is valuable. It's just trapped capital. The money you already spent is sitting there doing nothing when it could be working for you. Americans have an average of 52 unused items per household, worth at least $50 each. That's $2,600 sitting in your house right now doing absolutely nothing. You're not using it, you're not enjoying it. It's just there, taking up space and mental energy. Meanwhile, you're complaining about not having money to invest or save. You're literally surrounded by money, you just haven't liquidated it yet. Here's what minimalists understand. Unused possessions are failed investments. You bought them, they didn't deliver value, now they're dead weight. Cut your losses, recover what you can, reinvest it in something that actually serves you. Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Poshmark, Craigslist, local consignment. There are a dozen ways to turn your clutter into cash this weekend. That exercise equipment you use twice? Sell it. Those designer jeans that don't fit? Sell them. The power tools you never touched? Sell them. Most people can pull $2,000 to $5,000 out of their house in a single purge. That's not theory. That's proven over and over. Your clutter is a savings account you forgot you had. Right now, this weekend, pick one category: sports equipment, clothes, electronics, books, whatever. List everything you haven't used in 6 months. Sell it. Take the cash and do something productive with it. Pay off debt. Invest. Build an emergency fund. Anything but letting it collect dust. There's a couple who did a massive declutter and sold everything on Facebook Marketplace over 3 months. Old furniture, clothes, kitchen gadgets, hobby equipment, electronics, total recovered $4,800. They used it to pay off a credit card. They told me we were paying interest on debt while sitting on $5,000 of stuff we didn't use. We basically paid to store our own money in the form of junk. Never again. Your unused stuff isn't sentimental, it's trapped capital. Free it. Turn clutter into cash and cash into wealth. And it's in the next rule that many people make the biggest mistake of all. Rule 12, minimal debt tolerance. Only appreciating assets. Because here's the biggest mistake people make after they start minimizing and saving. They go into debt for stupid stuff: cars, furniture, vacations, things that lose value the second you buy them. Let me be brutally clear. Debt for depreciating assets is financial slavery. You're paying interest on something worth less every single day. That's not borrowing, that's volunteering to be poor with extra steps. There's a reason the Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. It's not a moral judgment, it's a mathematical fact. When you owe money on something that's losing value, you're trapped. You can't sell it for what you owe. You're stuck making payments on something worth less than the debt. That's a prison. Here's the minimalist rule on debt. Only borrow for appreciating assets. A house that goes up in value, education that increases your income, a business that generates profit. Those are investments. Everything else? If you can't pay cash, you can't afford it. Car debt is the worst offender. Americans owe $1.5 trillion in auto loans for vehicles that lose 30% of value the moment you drive off the lot. You're paying interest on an asset racing toward zero value. That's insane. If you can't pay cash for a car, buy a cheaper car. Drive a beater for 2 years. Save aggressively, then upgrade with cash. Yeah, it's not sexy. But you know what is sexy? Not having a $400 car payment for 6 years. Minimalist goal: Be debt-free except for strategic investments. Mortgage on a home you can afford? Okay. Student loans that tripled your income? Defensible. Everything else? Pay it off as fast as humanly possible and never go back. There's a guy who had $38,000 in car and consumer debt. Selling stuff, side hustles, minimizing expenses, paid it all off in 2 years. Now his entire paycheck is his, not the bank's. He said, "I thought debt was normal. Then I realized debt is the reason I couldn't build wealth. Every dollar going to payments was a dollar that could have been compounding. I was funding the bank's wealth, not mine." Debt for depreciating stuff is slavery. Debt for appreciating assets is a strategy. Know the difference. All of the above leads us to the final rules that complete the picture. Rule 13, one hobby at a time, depth over breadth. Because all of this leads us to something people completely misunderstand: hobbies. Americans collect hobbies like Pokemon cards, photography, woodworking, guitar, painting, cycling, cooking, gardening. You've bought starter equipment for all of them, mastered none of them, and your garage is full of expensive gear you never use. That's not having hobbies, that's having a spending problem disguised as interests. Here's what happens. You get excited about photography, buy a $600 camera, take photos for 2 months, get distracted by woodworking, buy $300 in tools, make one birdhouse, move on to guitar, buy a $200 guitar, learn 3 chords, quit. A year later, you've spent $1,100 on hobbies you don't actually do. That money is just sitting in your closet, mocking you. Minimalists do it differently. One hobby at a time. Go deep, not wide. Master one thing before moving to the next. Buy quality equipment, commit for at least a year and actually get good at it. Then if you want, explore something else. But here's what usually happens. When you go deep on one hobby, it becomes fulfilling. You get good enough that it's actually enjoyable. You build a community around it. Sometimes it even becomes a side income. And you stop feeling the need to chase the next shiny thing. Depth beats breadth. Always. A photographer who's been shooting for 5 years is infinitely more capable than someone who dabbles in 10 hobbies, and their equipment actually gets used instead of collecting dust. Right now, look at your hobbies. Which one actually brings you joy? Pick that one. Sell the equipment to others. Use the money to upgrade your primary hobby or invest it. Commit to that one thing for a year minimum. There's a guy who had gear for 6 different hobbies, a total investment of probably $3,000. Used none of it regularly, sold 5 hobbies worth of equipment, kept only his woodworking tools. Got serious about it. 2 years later, he's taking commissions, making $1,000 a month from his hobby, and actually enjoys it because he's good at it now. He said, "I thought I liked variety. Turns out, I just liked buying stuff. When I committed to one thing, I finally experienced what mastery feels like, and mastery is way more satisfying than dabbling." Depth over breadth. One hobby done well beats 10 hobbies done badly. But here's where minimalism takes a turn that surprises people. Rule 14, experiences over possessions always. Because here's the turn. Minimalism isn't about deprivation. It's not about living in an empty room, eating rice. It's about removing the stuff that doesn't matter so you can invest in what does. And what matters? Experiences, memories, time with people you love, doing things you'll remember forever. We've already established that stuff doesn't make you happy. The University of Texas proved it. Experiences create lasting happiness. Material goods don't. You get used to new stuff in weeks. But memories, they appreciate. They get richer every time you think about them. Here's the minimalist financial strategy. Spend ruthlessly on experiences. Be cheap with possessions. Take the trip. Go to the concert. Do the cooking class with your spouse. Create memories that will matter in 20 years. That couch you're thinking about buying? You won't remember it in 5 years. The weekend camping trip with your kids where you taught them to fish? They'll tell their kids about it. Minimalists budget heavily for experiences because that's where life actually happens. Not in your living room surrounded by stuff, out in the world, creating stories you'll tell forever. This year, allocate $2,000 to $5,000 specifically for experiences, not things. Experiences. Travel, events, activities, adventures. Stuff that creates memories. Before you buy anything over $500, ask, will I remember this in 5 years? New TV? No. Road trip with your best friends? Absolutely. There are two brothers who each got $10,000. Brother A bought new furniture, electronics, and upgraded his whole apartment. Brother B took his family to Europe for 2 weeks, something they dreamed about forever. 5 years later, Brother A's stuff is worn out, outdated, and meaningless. Brother B's family still talks about the trip. They have inside jokes from it. They look through together. Memories that get better with time. Brother A admitted, I bought stuff that depreciated. My brother bought memories that appreciated. I thought I was being practical. He understood what actually matters. Things fade, memories last. Minimalism frees up money to invest in what you'll actually remember. And this brings us to the final rule that completes everything. Rule 15. Give away 10%, the abundance paradox. Because here's the final rule that completes the minimalist mindset. Give. Generously. Freely. 10% of your income, minimum. I know what you're thinking. I'm trying to build wealth and you want me to give it away? Yes, because this is the ultimate test of whether you've escaped the scarcity mindset. Scarcity says, I can't afford to give. Abundance says, I have more than enough to share. And here's the paradox. The act of giving rewires your brain from scarcity to abundance. And once you operate from abundance, wealth follows. There's a biblical principle in Malachi. Bring the full tithe and see if I will not open the windows of heaven for you. That's not religious manipulation. It's psychological truth. Giving signals to your subconscious, I have enough. I have more than enough. Studies prove this. Generous people report higher happiness and financial satisfaction than hoarders. Not because they have more money, but because they have an abundance mindset that attracts opportunities. Start with 1% if 10 feels terrifying. Give to causes you believe in. Charities, community, people in need, churches if that's your thing. Doesn't matter where. What matters is the act of giving. Watch what happens. You'll stop feeling broke. You'll start noticing opportunities. You'll make better financial decisions because you're operating from I have enough instead of I never have enough. There's a guy who was barely making it, terrified to give anything. Started giving $50 a month anyway, 5% of his income. It felt reckless, but his mindset shifted from not enough to I can help others. 6 months later, he got a promotion, a raise, and better opportunities seemed to appear out of nowhere. Not magic. His abundance mindset made him act differently, which created different results. He said, giving didn't make me poor, it made me feel rich. And feeling rich made me act rich, and acting rich made me become rich. It's the weirdest thing that actually works. Generosity is the final test of minimalism. If you can give freely, you've escaped scarcity. And once you escape scarcity, wealth is inevitable. All of the above will be meaningless if you don't take action. So there they are, 15 minimalist rules that let you work less and earn more. Not through hustling harder, but through eliminating everything that's draining your money, time, and mental energy without adding value. 1 in, 1 out. 30-day rule. Quality over quantity. Automate savings. Kill subscriptions. No storage units. Zero-based budget. Capsule wardrobe. Digital detox. Single income focus. Sell unused stuff. Minimal debt. One hobby deep. Experiences over things. And give 10%, the ultimate abundance test. None of this is about deprivation. It's about liberation from stuff that doesn't matter, stress that doesn't serve you, and the endless cycle of working to buy things you don't need. Here's your move. Pick one rule this week, just one. Start tiny. Start now. If this changed how you see money, smash subscribe. Comment less is more, and tell me which rule you're starting with. Drop the number of items you think you own. Most people guess way too low. The wealthy look poor. The poor look rich. One group owns their life. The other is owned by their stuff. Which one are you?